Lower fuel and food inflation, as well as the stronger rand, will likely help slow the rate of inflation. In June, the price of petrol went down by 71 cents per litre, while diesel decreased by 84 cents a litre. Consumer inflation has been above the Reserve Bank's target bracket of 3 to 6% since May of last year. It's expected to come within the target range and reach the midpoint by 2025.
If you look at how inflation is actually calculated, you look at those base effects, and those base effects has actually eased significantly. If you remember where oil price and food prices were sometimes last year, they were quite elevated, and those have actually come down, significantly. And the other issue that actually contributed to high inflation, it has been supply bottlenecks, globally, given that most countries were actually in lockdown given the pandemic. But now, if you look at those indices, they've actually come down significantly, which just shows you that there are movements in terms of, supply around the world. So we believe that, inflation will actually ease to 5.5%.
Economists are divided on the central bank's next move on the repo rate. While some believe one last hike of 25 basis points in the hiking cycle is still on the cards, some believe the Reserve Bank could leave the repo rate unchanged this week.
If you look at the SA economy, there isn't really, a domestic demand, push in terms of the factors that are actually contributing to inflation. If you look at, what's happening in the country, there's a high level of unemployment. So, the other side is saying that they've actually done, so much to actually bring inflation, lower. And also, if you look at how the rand is compared to when they actually tightened in the previous meeting, the rand has actually appreciated, significantly, bringing that imported inflation, lower. Some are saying perhaps, they should deliver, one last hike, given that the US Fed is more likely going to do the same. And over the past, we have actually followed the Fed in terms of how we have actually, addressed, our monetary policy.
Stats SA will this week release the retail sales data for May. It's forecasted to continue being depressed at lower levels due to weak consumer confidence, higher interest rates, and the impact of load shedding. Gloria Sefako Mosi, SABC News, Johannesburg.